The first chain that holds you down is the one you put on yourself. Before the world ever told you you can't, you whispered it to yourself. These are the mental traps that steal your power without making a sound. You believed you weren't smart enough, not talented enough, not strong enough. But that's not the truth. That's programming. Somewhere in your past, limiting beliefs took root, and now they guide your choices, your mindset, your future. You say no to opportunities before you try. You self-sabotage in moments meant for a breakthrough. That voice that whispers, "Stay small," isn't your protector. It's your prison guard. To grow, you must break that loop. Challenge every belief that keeps you stuck. Rewrite the story. You're not trapped. You're trained to think you are.
Someone out there is thriving with half your resources because they stopped making excuses. You're not behind because life's unfair. You're behind because you've let your excuses become louder than your goals. Look around. Someone with less time, less talent, and more pain is still outworking you. Not because they have more, but because they decided to stop waiting. They made a decision. Burn the excuses, build the life. If you want it bad enough, your reasons to act will outweigh your reasons to wait. Excuses don't pay bills. Discipline does. Focus does. Relentless action does. So let others talk. You've got work to do, starting now.
Failure isn't the enemy. Fear of failure is. Most people don't fail. They quit before they even try. Why? Because they're scared of looking stupid, scared of falling, scared of being judged. But here's the truth. Failure is how you grow. It's not a red light. It's a roadmap. Every person you admire has failed more than you've tried. What separates them is not talent. It's the resilience to rise again. When you let fear control your decisions, you shrink your world. You play small. You avoid discomfort. But greatness demands risk. Don't ask, "What if I fall?" Ask, "What if I fly?" Because hiding from failure is the biggest failure of all. From failure, you can't run your race while staring at someone else's lane. Comparison is a trap that convinces you you're behind, when in truth, you're just on a different path. You scroll through highlights and forget to that hose are just edited fragments. You see their wins and ignore your progress. But your journey isn't supposed to look like anyone else's. What you call slow might be the exact pace you need for deep growth. What you call failure might be your foundation. Mindset is everything. When you believe in your unique lane, you stop needing someone else's validation. Let their success inspire you, not diminish you. Trade envy for inspiration. Trade distraction for focus. Your only competition is the you from yesterday. Envy for inspiration. Trade comfort feels safe, but it slowly kills your potential. Your comfort zone is cozy, familiar, and dangerous. It whispers, "Stay here. It's fine. You're okay." And so you stop reaching, stop growing, stop evolving. You convince yourself that good enough is all you need, but deep down, you know it's not. Discomfort is the price of transformation. That uneasy feeling when you stretch beyond your limits, that's the feeling of becoming someone new. Most people never grow because they never leave what's comfortable. But if you want to unlock your next level, you have to be willing to feel awkward, scared, and uncertain. You have to chase growth over ease. Nothing grows in the comfort zone except regret. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your identity. That's the truth most people miss. You can set goals all day long, but if your internal programming says, "I don't deserve this," or "I'm not built for this," then your actions will quietly sabotage your success. That's why reprogramming your mind is non-negotiable. You don't just upgrade your plans, you upgrade your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone trying to succeed and start seeing yourself as someone who wins by nature. That new identity shifts your choices, habits, posture, speech, everything. And the fastest way to shift identity is to act like the future you now, not after success, before it. That's how winners think. That's how transformation begins. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. Perfectionism is a trap that wears a disguise of high standards, but underneath it hides fear. Fear of being judged, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. You delay starting, delay finishing, and living because something isn't quite right yet. But perfect is a moving target. It keeps shifting the more you chase it. And in that pursuit, you lose the power of progress. The truth is, done is better than perfect, and action beats hesitation every time. You weren't meant to be flawless. You were meant to be resilient, growing, learning. Perfectionism kills creativity, drowns confidence, and suffocates your dreams in silence. You don't win by being perfect. You win by being brave enough to start. Start messy, start unsure, but start anyway. Your story doesn't have to end where it began. You've been hurt, you've been wronged. Life didn't play fair, but living in the victim mindset keeps you chained to the very pain you want to escape. It convinces you that nothing can change because you weren't in control. But here's the truth. What happened to you isn't your fault, but what happens next is your responsibility. When you cling to blame, you forfeit your power. The shift happens when you say, "This is mine to heal. This is mine to rewrite." Ownership isn't about guilt, it's about growth. You can't outrun your past, but you can choose not to be defined by it. You are more than what broke you. You're what rises after. And every day you choose strength over self-pity, you reclaim your future. More than what self-pity.
Every time you choose an excuse, you weaken the person you're becoming. You are either reinforcing your potential or reinforcing your limitations. There's no neutral ground. The moment you say, "I can't," your identity listens. The moment you say, "I'm tired," your actions slow. But when you say, "No matter what, I show up," something shifts. Your words build your standard, and your standard becomes your lifestyle. You're not just burning excuses, you're burning an old identity that made them feel acceptable. You're stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't justify weakness, it dominates it. Build yourself. You don't have to feel ready to be worthy. That voice that says, "You're a fraud," it's not truth, it's imposter syndrome. It tells you that your success is just luck, that your wins are fake, that you don't deserve the life you're building. But hear this, everyone starts unqualified. Every expert was once a beginner. Confidence doesn't come first, courage does. You grow into your power by showing up, not by being perfect. Self-doubt is a sign you care, but don't let it become your identity. Replace "I'm not enough" with "I'm learning." Replace fear with focus. You don't need to feel like a winner to be one. You just need to refuse to quit. Seeking approval is the fastest way to lose yourself. When your value depends on what others think, you give them control over your life. You say yes when you mean no. You follow the crowd when your calling is elsewhere. But living for approval leads to a quiet kind of misery. You wear a mask, you forget who you are, and one day you wake up and don't recognize the life you built. But there's freedom in authenticity. When you live in alignment with your values, you stop chasing likes and start chasing legacy. Approval fades, but purpose doesn't. Be brave enough to disappoint others if it means being true to yourself. Because in the end, it's not your attention is your greatest asset. Protect it fiercely. We live in a world built to steal your focus. Notifications, scrolling, endless noise, it all trains your brain to crave escape over depth. But greatness isn't built in fragments. It's forged in long, focused, disciplined hours. Every time you choose a distraction, you delay your growth. Every time you chase a dopamine hit, you weaken your ability to chase a dream. Success demands your presence, not your partial attention. To win, you must learn to be bored, to sit with discomfort, to block out the world and build your own. Reclaim your focus, and you reclaim your power.